Hi everyone! My name is Marilu Areño and welcome back to my channel, The Teacher's Best Friend. For today's episode, I'm going to share with you the IEP process or the Individualized Education Program process. This information is helpful for all educators, whether you are a general education teacher or a special education teacher, or even other people who will benefit from the information are the school administrators, parents, service providers, and sometimes the advocates. IEP process or special education is one of my passions. If you remember in my previous blog, I mentioned that I was a special educator for several years, and I was also a SPED director for 7 years prior to becoming a school superintendent. If this is your first time watching this video, please do not forget to click the notification bell to subscribe and to be notified for the incoming episodes. I will present the IEP process into two parts. The first part will cover pre-referral, referral, identification, and eligibility. And the second part will be the IEP development, implementation of IEP, and evaluation and reviews. Let's start with pre-referral. Most schools have what we call teachers' assistance team, or sometimes they call them intervention team or the Coordinated Early Intervening Services or CEIS, and this is funded by Part B. This team is responsible in monitoring the progress of the students, and most often they focus on the students that are falling behind their grade level curriculum. If a student is behind, he should be referred to the RTI or the response to intervention. And usually these students are classified under Tier 3, which is the intensive individual intervention. Then if they make progress, they will be moved to Tier 2 and then to Tier 1. Referral. Sometimes we ask, when do we start referring students to special education? Or who will do the referral? When the student is provided with intensive intervention, the student will be monitored for at least 2 years to observe if the student is making progress. If the student is not making progress or making a very minimal progress, then this is the time he needs to be referred for special education evaluation. In most situations, students who are not making progress despite of the intensive intervention have other underlying conditions that needs to be identified through a comprehensive psychoeducational evaluation. These types of students are usually delayed 2 years or more in their academic skills, or they are delayed in developmental milestones. And question is, who will do the referral? Any adult who is closely working with a student can make a referral for evaluation, such as parents, teachers, counselors, the intervention team, principals, and other school professionals. If the referral is made by other person aside from the parent, then a parent permission is needed. The next step of the process is the identification. This is also known as the evaluation process. In this stage, the teacher assistance team will meet to discuss the areas that needs to be evaluated. These are the areas of delay as observed during the monitoring process. The team will identify if the student is delayed in academic skills, such as the areas of reading, mathematics, and writing, or if there is a delay in communication or speech, or motor development, or even when the student behavior is not developmentally appropriate. A full psychoeducational evaluation requires testing in academic, in communication, in motor development, and in social-emotional. The test is administered by licensed professionals such as the school psychologists, the speech and language pathologists. At times, physical therapies and occupational therapies are needed also. And in order to proceed with the evaluation process, it is a must to seek parent permission and, of course, the parent's signature. At this time, the parent is also given a copy of the parent's rights or the procedural safeguard. The general guidelines provide 60 days to complete the evaluation process. Now let's move to the eligibility. Within the 60 days period, the team, such as the parents, teachers, psychologists, the speech language pathologists, the OT, PT, school representative, or the principal, and sometimes student is also invited as appropriate to the age, and other staff that are needed in providing services, and sometimes there is a need for an interpreter. They will meet to discuss the results of evaluation and to determine eligibility. And in this stage, the team will determine whether the student is eligible to be placed in the special education program or not, and also to determine if the student is eligible to receive other related services, such as speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and counseling. All the recommendations will be based on the results of the full evaluation. The results of evaluation is explained to all members in a way that they can understand clearly, especially the parents. The team members must be in agreement with all the recommendations in determining the eligibility, and everyone will sign the eligibility document during this meeting. So that is the end of the first part of my discussion on the IEP process. I will continue the second part in my next episode, which will cover the IEP development, the implementation of IEP, and evaluation and reviews. I hope you learned a lot from the discussions. If you have questions or comments, please do not hesitate to write them on the comments line below. See you on my next episode. Thank you for watching, and to God be the glory.